We're on the steps of the federal courthouse in Louisville, Kentucky. Just poets and artists protesting the rights and for the lives of trans and queer people and the reproductive rights of people everywhere. We are here fighting for our rights in a state where our rights are threatened. Anti-LGBTQ laws are going out across this country, 374 as of the start of 2023, with 297 of last year alone. Kentucky is holding up an idea that we are somehow deranged and bad and wrong and disgusting. They're holding up these ideals that our bodies do not belong to us but belong to the state. They are taking away the rights of reproductive care. They're taking away the rights of trans healthcare for minors. They're taking away the rights of drag performance and art and comedy. They are restricting our freedom of speech. They're restricting our ability to walk on the street. They're making it harder for us to just exist. So we're here to protest these issues, and we're here to read about our own lives. This is where we are, this is what we're doing, and we're coming to your city next. Alright. Apolitical. You cannot be apolitical when my body is a political statement, whether I like it or not. I am an obelisk erected in a house fire, trying to survive, but burnt ends don't make you human, just reduce me to meat. I cannot be apolitical when our policy makes my body ready to eat, or incinerated if not comfortably passing. Donkey or elephant, token or trampled, I cannot be apolitical because my body is a political statement whether I like it or not. I am a wrench in the cogs of the Western machine, the esophageal cancer and the throat of freedom of speech. No surgery will make it safe to be me, just a bisecting by 8K, an object that has more rights than my body. So don't tell me to be apolitical when policy defines my right to exist. My body is a web of legislation and political misinformation. When it is illegal to breathe in 78 countries, my existence becomes a war crime to the highest degree. I cannot be apolitical when Canada sees me as a potential refugee. So don't fucking tell me to be apolitical when even your God hates me. Don't fucking tell me to be calm when my existence is made policy, because I am a political statement and I fucking hate it. Holy cost. Curtain of democracy is made of cheesecloth, made holy by lack of substance, and I am to be the martyr of rights I cannot find, dragging the bodies of families crucified, yet you tell me to have faith that everything will be alright, as I'm guided onto trains that lead into yesterday, branded with lavender and set to smoke glasses, or some cheap pour of whiskey. Also, it's all I can afford to take off the edge, away from skin I want to divide, like lines in sand crossed one too many times, like your hands on my skin, ripping bits away to wrap in cloth and hung to dry in smoke-filled chambers, where you whisper, have faith, and I guess I do, in the fact that I won't outlive any of you. Sling. Slings are meant to elevate, alleviate, are meant less to elevate or alleviate than to serve as a reminder that you are injured. I wish there was a sling for my brain as I read article after article about how my rights are slipping away, nowhere is safe. I wish I had a reminder to stop me before I pass go on the endless rabbit holes and the tunneling brain that makes me think of how I'm probably going to die by some cop so jacked up on toxic masculinity that veins are green at routines run down traffic stop. And slings are meant to isolate from self-inflicted harm, while I'm a reformed razor junkie with an addiction to statistics and information that makes my brain bleed. And I've been harmed enough and had my agency disavowed at the steps of too many temples to take lightly the call of conversion camp trains, state-mandated electrotherapy and my own good, having exist reform to avoid being detected by the M branded on my back at birth. I wish there was a sling to keep my anxiety at bay, but my world is burning and I take anything to make the pain go away. Matchstick. My house is burning down around me and I'm not holding the matches, just the kerosene. And if I'm going to die in flames, best be sure I'll burn this fucking country down with me. Ad nausea. Sometimes I stand too quickly with the sole purpose of seeing divinity, the white-black lines that interstate wind across my vision until I'm blind, falling for safe havens and West Station and trains leading anywhere but here, where I stand in approximation of human, still too much a man to be perceived as divine, femininity leaking like an open wound. I have no womb, so I rise to fall, seeking absolution from the sins of my birth, being wrong, taking too long to form the mass of me, center well of gravity, and I'm falling blind to feel something more than shame. Illinois. All my skeletons are trans, dead bodies, or dead before they could pass go, stuck in the crevice where tires meet road. Here predators wear blue lines and silent tears, wet pillow as spouses wonder why. It's a blue state with a blue heart directed by blue lives and liberal lives of civility. It couldn't happen here till it does, and leaves you with a bloody lip from worrying over the lipstick away, face bone white, but not smooth enough to be safe. Ally. Incessant snares of light, blinding cold hands plunging into hot masses, wet and glistening bits that cling, rhythmic pulses that run the length of arms to be felt in the depths of depravity, all more as we mold flesh to fit the mind, and painful shrieks and groans, trying to find appearance and normality for safety, but safety is a lie reserved for wealth, and it can't be afforded to breathe unassisted breaths. All while sunny day allies melt when asked to walk in the rain. At least tell me you hate me, want me dead. I can work with that, but not this false security as my body is rendered consumable.
Hey Snow, can you move to the stairs?
Slurs. I'm a transcendental tranny, red-skinned half-breed, but not savage enough to be believed, barely passing at any state, too queer to be misplaced. I'm a dick-dangling dyke until it's snipped, then I'm mutilated, abbreviated, trap on trapeze, making you question wrong and right. I'm an interloper, femme-presenting pretender, invading your sacred space to piss in peace. And your granny's a Cherokee princess, which means you're more Indian than me. Just wait till you can afford ancestry. I'm a clown in caked makeup, just a dick and drag without the pizzazz. Yeah, tell me more about how I'm a whore, deserve what I get. It's obviously the way I dress, I'm asking for it. Or maybe tell me how I turn you on, how wet you are while I'm stuck at the bathroom of a bar and you're reaching. Welcome to being a woman, am I right? Or rather, woman light. This is what you wanted, but don't fucking encroach. Don't excel, it isn't fair. You don't work as hard, but try harder to disappear. Do you top? Am I your clown or a fetish, your porcelain Pocahontas? Fuck off.
I felt comfortable right up until then. For years, this otherness, this vague, indescribable sense of queerness has hovered about me like a swarm of gnats, never lighting upon my skin long enough for me to identify. But never have I been able to wave it away. Ever since I was a kid on the playground chasing girls like all the other boys did, me not knowing what I wanted, but knowing I wanted to wrap myself in femininity like a bear hug. No, a blanket, no, that's not right. Not something to protect me and keep me warm through the night, more like a scarf, a decorative, colorful scarf, like an accessory, something to enhance me. Then I look down at my hands and I realize I need a manicure, but I see my arms and I think that wouldn't matter. And I realize the scarf doesn't match my top. My whole deal clashes, and to really make this work, I might need a new body, even though I kind of like this one. And after all these years, finally know how to use it. I tell myself, I don't care. I like me this way. I don't care if it doesn't look quite right, because it feels right, and I'm not going to change to be less queer, and I'm not going to change to fit what queer is supposed to be. I'm not going to take new headshots. I'm not going to buy a new wardrobe. I decide I don't need an overhaul. I just need to accessorize that part of me. A little lace, a tighter cut, some shadowing, and highlights for my face. Just enough to embrace the side of me I love. Anyway, others could see it, could know it, could identify it, could call me by it, could yell out fag from the window of a moving car. Not even slowing to explain what the hell they meant. Fag never seemed like the right word, but I guess it's close enough for the women I fuck. For a fag, I had my share of women, more than just a few, more than most of you. So what if I don't look like your typical woman hanging on her man? So what if I'm some meaty, hairy ogre with too much eyeliner pinned down by a petite little princess giving orders? So what if I'm never on the Pride poster? She felt whole and complete in a way never felt before, but he began to think about all the things he would have to release, all those things he feels he needs, but still she felt whole and complete. She felt unsustainable. She heard his voice, frightened and shameful. He warned her that happiness is unattainable, that this was unstable, and it nearly broke her. But she isn't giving up, going away, rolling over, stepping out, or getting run down. She will again be California from Indiana. This one's ridiculous. Trans girl, lesbian, four-way. Trans girl, lesbian, four-way. Make sure you're free for a couple of days because you're all booked up for the trans girl, lesbian, four-way. Four of a kind, bodies entwined, hearts aligned, by their powers combined, they sparkle and shine, gonna melt your mind. It's a trans girl, lesbian, four-way. Trans girl, lesbian, four-way. Make sure you're free for a couple of days because you're all booked up for the trans girl, lesbian, four-way. Covered in sweat, glistening skin, sighs and giggles, devilish grins, not quite sure where to begin, how to start a weekend of sin. It's a trans girl, lesbian, four-way. Make sure you're free for a couple of days because you're all booked up for the trans girl, lesbian, four-way. Thank you.
Yeah. I'm here today to read a poem. Because I'm really here to listen. Be part. No, I'm here. This poem is called The Bands. This, that, then this, then that again. All this closeted rage disguised as protection, but for who? And from what? Banning personal expression, drag, tease, whatever it may be in the land of the supposed free is a condemnation of individualism, is the slowly smiling face of fascism, bloody hands spilling poisoned ink. Ban all that you are not. What doesn't fit the mold cast by these bigoted hands is cast through the almighty American cast into the savage fire, that all-consuming maw, so baleful, successful, it hides in plain sight, convinces good-hearted people that other good-hearted people are sinister, infringers, the ones you gotta watch. Let's make some cages. Banning gender-affirming care in the land of the supposed free is spit in the face of kindness, with a just be kind sign in the meticulously manicured front lawn, is telling struggling children the cages are for them too. All these locked in the vicious cage of gender dysphoria, behind the bars of social control, the power-drunk jailer blowing kisses through the bars, leering, whistling, jingling, that genoistic plea, is telling American children bullets are worth more than their lives, is telling the American LGBTQI plus community that guns matter more, American Jesus matters more, untaxed Christian dollar bills matter more, their inflated sense of sanctimony matters more, fear matters more than love. Banning reproductive health care in the land of the supposed free is state-sanctioned oppression, is forced birth poverty and bankrupting despair, is outdated holy death in the land and time of modern secular miracles, is inundating red waves of postnatal depression, is pregnancy resource centers resourcing tired judgment and dog-eared dogma to the desperate, the vulnerable, is billboard after billboard vomiting conservative propaganda, is inexcusable American infant mortality rates. 5.4 deaths per 1,000 live births in the U.S., and Kentucky's higher, 6.2 deaths per 1,000 live births. Most parents unable to afford the tiniest of coffins, much less being renters themselves the green space of a burial plot, is skyrocketing American maternal mortality rates, a 40% increase just from 2020 to 2021 alone. This chauvinism dressed up as Christian piety, written and read like the literal word of God, force-fed death in bite-sized servings, women just vessels, children fodder, everyone grist for the machine, is a nod to the glory days of second-class citizenship. Every woman a mother, every girl a lover, every womb a tool, anything else an affront to dominion, a stain on the white doilies of sanctified subjugation, blood on the steps of the whitewashed governor's mansion, a shit stain on the red, white, and blue. Well, let that stink stink. Let these words wake the sleeping. Let these raised fists and open eyes see the prize is not in the sky, not on the internet, not in the chambers of the House, not on the floor of the Senate, not in the receding Bill of Rights, the mangled Constitution, not in the barren wastes of Mitch McConnell's supposed heart, but in a widening circle of hope, of friendship, humanity, and unity. All these hungry cages will not be satisfied. All these hungry cages cannot be satisfied. All these hungry cages will never be satisfied. All these hungry cages.
Have to. My mom calls and says it seems like a matter of time before someone in the family, and she doesn't finish her sentence, but I know the feeling all too well. And she talks of probability and possibility and a statistical chance of our family being wrenched apart, and I know the statistics do not look good. We are walking rainbows with injustice, sensitivity, filled with more motivation than self-preservation, and my brother just wants to pee in fucking peace. And the family goal is an average life expectancy, and we don't know how long it'll be before we lose someone we cannot replace, but it is a matter of time, a matter of legislation, and it is a matter of life and death.
Yeah.